Hi everyone, this is Tom Vogel with Wrestling's Finest Pro Wrestling PC game. In this video here, we are going to continue on with our discussion of the game, and I'm going to focus entirely during this video on the wrestler ratings. So, we have everything set up like we're ready to start a match, and right now I'm going to click on, you can either click on Roddy Piper's name or his photo, and when you do that, it will bring up his basically his wrestling card, his wrestling ratings. You'll see there's 5 sections. We have player, control, legal holds, illegal, and specialty. Under player, this is kind of the basic information about him with his control, defense, stamina, pin rating, submission, wisdom, successful hold, auto control loss, fan irritation, cut rating, injury rating, and tag team. Every wrestler is assigned a control rating, and that dictates how often he assumes control when they're in a neutral position. You know, like when you're locking up to start the match or when the referee separates you. Most wrestlers are either going to be a 14 or 15. Some kind of the really aggressive wrestlers might be a 16. Defense is the rating. The number there will be subtracted from your opponent's successful holds. Stamina, something I want to try to explain here. Roddy's a 73.5, which what this means is when Roddy's stamina becomes 0, and it gets reduced by the moves that his opponent, in this case Hulk Hogan, will apply to him. When it gets to 0, Roddy's first 2 pin numbers and his first 2 submission numbers will be increased by 5. So every time he hits 73, that's considered a new stamina level, and we'll add 5, 5, 5, and 5. Now, here are the pin ratings for Roddy's at 25, 24, 3. Each of these pin ratings corresponds to the 1 count, the 2 count, and the 3 count. And that's the same for submissions, or for submit rating. So the first time Roddy goes through his stamina level, he would then go to 30, 29, 3. And then the second time he would go to 35, 34, 3. Each one of these numbers is based out of 40. So if Hulk tries to pin Roddy, the odds of Hulk getting a 1 count would be 25 out of 40, a 2 count would be 24 out of 40, and then a 3 count would be 3 out of 40. So very, very important what each wrestler's stamina is. Wisdom, that 7 is the number of strategy cards Roddy will get, and we talked about that in a previous video. The 17 is his chance of making the ropes should a pin or submission be ready to occur. Successful holds, pretty much self-explanatory. How well is he at applying holds? Auto control loss simply means Roddy gained control, but then he did something, quite possibly made a mistake to lose control to his opponent. The 5 you see here is Roddy's experience rating and his ability to force his opponent to make errors. And then we have a fan interaction. Fans can sometimes help or hurt a wrestler depending on their rating. Roddy's a cut 7 out of 10, so he will get cut. Very low injury rating, and he has pretty good tag team rating. Now, when we go into control, you'll notice we have control, number, the hold, control here, attempted pin, stamina off. The counter number is how well Roddy's able to counter his opponent's holds. In looking at Roddy's card, he's slightly above average here. The letter grade after each one of these is his ability to counter his opponent's specialty moves. And Roddy is pretty good at this because AA is as high as you can be. Now, here's Roddy's moveset. It starts at hammering and goes through outside ring. And under hammering, you'll see the 17. If a 0, 0 to 17 is turned, then Roddy will attempt what's called a legal hammering move. Here you'll see they start at arm holds and go through leg drop, and then you'll see specialty moves here, and we'll get to that in a minute. But this is kind of the beauty of the ratings. Each wrestler is rated for the type of moves he would perform, the frequency, and the effectiveness. Here you'll see the stamina off if this move is applied. You'll see the control rating should Roddy apply this hold and a pin does not result. Roddy would, say for an arm hold, would be in control from 1 to 36 and would only lose control from 37 to 40. Here's his counter rating. Roddy's about average, maybe slightly better. And then here's the frequency that Roddy will get an attempt to pin based on the move attempted. So if we go back to the control here, we see the next under hammering, if the number's 18 to 48, then Roddy would do an illegal move. We have hair pull all the way through punches. And again, same type thing. Roddy's very good at choking, pretty good low blows, and good punches stamina off. So again, this will tell you, will kind of tell a story about each wrestler, what moves he likes and which moves he's good at. So back under control, you'll see, you continue down here. Over here would be the control for each hold. This here is called an auto control rating, the 18 minus 1, meaning in some situations Roddy is in such dominant control that he actually has such an advantage at the time, he gets to skip a couple steps and go right to a potential hold that he'll apply. Here's the attempted pin. For example, if Roddy does a body slam, he will attempt to pin Hogan if the number's 23 to 40. If the number's 1 to 22, there would be no pin attempt. Here's the stamina off. Here's the disqualified and outside ring ratings. Roddy has a very high rating. They look a little lower if you see this 11 and this 3 and even the 2. Reason these are lower is because we selected the tourney DQ rules, which will prevent Roddy from being disqualified as much, but will also limit his chances to go outside the ring. Over here under INT, that's Roddy's outside interference rating. He's a 10 out of 10, so Roddy likes to call for the outside help. The 5 here is Roddy's counter should Hulk Hogan take him outside the ring. Roddy would counter the move if a 1 through 5 is turned, but if the number 6 to 40, Hulk would be successful in that move. Over here is Roddy's illegal pin rating. That's based on 1 to 10, so Roddy's right at the very top at a 9. If an illegal pin opportunity is presented to Roddy and the referee catches it, then the pin attempt is nullified. So sometimes you might not want to go for an illegal pin, especially if your opponent's pin rating is extremely high, because if the referee catches it, then you lose out on that pin attempt. If the referee doesn't catch it, then Roddy will quite possibly be able to add some extra pin numbers to Hogan's pin rating, which should make it easier for him to pin him. If we go to specialty moves, I pointed out here, if a 36 to 40 is turned under legal, or a 36 to 40 under illegal, then Roddy will get the chance to attempt a specialty move. Every wrestler is rated from 3 to 5 specialty moves. Roddy does have 5, and you'll see over here, here's the frequency that he will apply the move. So Roddy's number 1 go-to move is the neck breaker, and it happens to be his best specialty move. However, Roddy is one of the masters of the foreign objects. He has a 10 out of 10 rating. He gets to apply the move on 11 chances out of 100, which is higher than I believe anybody else. Or I shouldn't say higher, but it's right at the very top. And Roddy gets to add a lot of extra pin numbers to his opponent should the foreign object be successful. So let's go over here and take a look at Hulk's card. Hulk has the same control rating as Roddy. His stamina is a little bit lower. One feature we have in the game is before the match, we'll take Roddy's 73, we reduce Hulk's, the difference between his and Hulk's is 73 less 67 is 6. Therefore, at the start of the match, Hulk's stamina now will be 61 because we subtract that 6 off of it. You'll notice Hulk is a 6. This means every time he gets to 61 against Roddy, his first 2 pin ratings will go up 6 numbers, as will his submission numbers, as where Roddy's will only go up 5. This is definitely the chink in Hulk Hogan's armor, his stamina level. His pin rating is excellent. It's 21-21-2, meaning you have a 21 out of 40, a 21 out of 40, and a 2 out of 40 to pin him. Since we designated him the champion, his pin rating for this match will actually be 1. Hulk gets 5 strategy cards. His successful holds aren't as high as Roddy's, but his auto control loss is better. Hulk has the highest fan interaction rating in the game. The asterisk means he's a face or a good guy, and typically he will get a tremendous boost from the fans. Hulk also has a cut rating of 7, injury rating just slightly higher than Rod's. If we go to the control, Hulk has some very high counters. 20 is extremely high, and just all the way down here he has very high counters. And the AAs here, the highest it can be for specialty moves, is phenomenal. Hulk doesn't call for outside help, being a good guy. It's only a 3 because he rarely will do it. He'll counter Roddy's outside moves from 1 to 7, is where Roddy's only 1 to 5. Hulk's illegal pin rating is only a 4. He won't try, and it's just not something he would do. You'll see here Hulk has 9 body slam numbers. He also gets to reduce Roddy's counter for a body slam by 4, since Hulk is a very strong wrestler. Very high counter ratings. He'll get actually to attempt more pins than Roddy will, and the stamina off is very high for a lot of these moves. A body slam and suplex 11, that's very high. Now Hulk, under hammering 0-0 to 26, he'll do a legal hammering. And one thing I want to point out here, Roddy had 0 power moves. Hulk has 11, and it's -9 off. This is one of the most effective power move ratings in the game. Illegal, these would be 29 to 50. Hulk, nothing really stands out but the punches, but he does have quite a range there, and he gets to take 6 off. Hulk only has 3 specialty moves, but his third one is right at the top for one of the best in the game, very similar to Stone Cold Steve Austin's Stone Cold Stunner, and several others will be 25-25-0. Very effective move, takes 24 off in stamina. If he can't pin his opponent, then he stays in control 39 out of 40 numbers, and if he lands the move, all he has to do is turn a 2 through 40, and he'll get a chance to pin his opponent. So there's only one number out of 40 that he won't be able to attempt to pin after this move. Very important, before the match, you study these moves, because if you have like we talked about earlier, the specific specialty card, it means you can pick the move you want Hulk to try. So it's very important to know which one you might want to consider using. The AA here, that indicates how effective Hulk is at performing the move, with AA being the highest. The HM means it's a hammering move. If it was a body slam, it would be a BS. And this AA would be compared to Roddy Piper's specialty move counter to determine what Roddy's overall counter would be to a specialty move. I think that covers the ratings. It's kind of fun just to look through wrestlers, check their ratings out, and to be able to see the strengths and weaknesses. I strongly urge when you start a match to take a look at both cards so you can see how they're rated, how they differ, and then try to determine the strengths and weaknesses of each card. What we are going to do in the next video is we are going to do a match between Roddy and Hulk, and we will be using strategy cards, and I look forward to going through that match with all of you. And once again, I appreciate you joining me on this video, and hopefully you're finding these informative, and I will talk to you very soon. Thanks again, and have a great day, everyone.